Welcome to The Explainer. We spend a lot of time searching the cosmos for bizarre, rule-breaking biology. But the truth is, some of the most alien ecosystems in the entire universe are sitting right here on Earth. All we need is a submarine. Today, we're exploring a world so entirely removed from our daily reality, it honestly might as well be in another galaxy.
Okay, let's dive into this, literally. Because to find the most mind-bending, rule-breaking creatures on our planet, we need to completely shift our perspective. We aren't looking up at the stars today. We're looking straight down. Down past the sunlit surface waters, past the vibrant coral reefs, and into a realm that is utterly and completely alien to human biology.
We're heading into the pitch-black depths of our oceans. Once you descend below 3,000 feet, you enter a world governed by extremes. The pressure is absolutely crushing, food is incredibly scarce, and there's zero sunlight. None. It's a completely lawless environment down there, and because of these harsh constraints, evolutionary biology is forced to get wonderfully, terrifyingly weird. In this no-light zone, the standard rules of survival simply do not apply.
Section 1. The real-life Kraken. Let's talk about deep-sea squids.
To give you a sense of scale, it's really no wonder these creatures sparked those legendary Kraken myths back in the 12th century. The largest giant squid ever found was 43 feet long, and scientists actually believe they can reach up to 66 feet. To put that into perspective, that is the exact length of a traditional Viking ship. Picture sailing the open ocean, and suddenly a squid appears below you, swimming at 40 kilometers per hour with eyes the size of actual basketballs.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer contrast between the two undisputed titans of the deep, the giant squid and the colossal squid. The giant squid is longer, sure, and uses these circular spikes. But the colossal squid, which by the way isn't even closely related to the giant squid, is completely terrifying in its own right. It's heavier, and it relies on these hook-like appendages that pierce and rotate like nature's drill machine. And these brutal weapons are absolutely necessary because these squids regularly get into fierce, cannibalistic battles in the dark with massive sperm whales and sleeper sharks.
Section 2. The Shadow Hunter. Meet the telescope fish.
As we descend into lawless depths where even light is scared to enter, missing a single meal could mean staying hungry for days. So evolution gave the telescope fish a very specific, kinda creepy strategy. It floats perfectly vertically in the dark water, hanging absolutely still like a pin. It stares straight up toward the surface, just scanning for the faintest silhouettes of passing animals. When it finally spots a shadow, it strikes with blinding speed. And thanks to an expandable stomach that can literally fold over its prey, it can swallow a meal completely whole, even if that meal is twice its own length.
What's wild is that this fish baffled scientists for 80 years. Its life cycle is so radical they honestly thought its different stages were entirely different species. It starts off near the surface as this transparent, roundish larva. As a juvenile, it starts traveling deep. Its bones actually begin to degenerate, sharp fangs form, and its eyes start shifting. By the time it's a full-grown adult, it has these bizarre tubular eyes that can see bioluminescence from a mile away in near-zero light, massive needle-like fangs, and a slender, scaleless, balloon-like body.
And the adaptations just keep getting crazier. Remember how they swallow glowing, bioluminescent prey whole? Well, to prevent that light from glowing right through their translucent bodies and basically acting as a homing beacon for bigger predators, the inner lining of their stomach actually turns pitch black. Plus, because the deep ocean is so vast and lonely, finding a mate is nearly impossible. To solve this, they're hermaphrodites. If two telescope fish actually manage to bump into each other in the dark, they can both release eggs and sperm, doing both jobs before swimming off and leaving the eggs to float up and continue the cycle.
Section 3. The Pink Nightmare. The bizarre goblin shark.
The absolute most striking feature of the goblin shark is that massive blade-like protrusion on its head. Now, that isn't actually its nose. It's called a rostrum, and it's basically a built-in, high-tech gadget packed with a network of sensors called ampulla of Lorenzini. It uses this rig to detect the incredibly faint electric fields of small fish and crustaceans hiding in the mud. In fact, their sensors are so sensitive, they occasionally mistake undersea fiber optic cables for large fish and try to take a bite right out of our internet infrastructure. Talk about a bad connection.
Now you might be wondering, why on earth is a deep-sea stealth predator bright pink? Well, the skin of a goblin shark is actually translucent, and it gets thinner as they age.
So what you're really seeing is its blood, visible from the outside. But here is the genius part. Red light doesn't travel deep into the ocean. Down there, red and pink colors appear entirely black. So this bizarre pink suit actually acts as a perfect, invisible camouflage cloak in the abyss. So let's recap. It's invisible, it can detect your electric pulse, and when it finally attacks, it is unbelievably fast. When prey gets near, the goblin shark doesn't just bite, it throws its entire jaw forward. It boasts the fastest jaw movement in the entire ocean, completing a strike in a mind-blowing 0.05 seconds. To put that terrifying speed into everyday human terms, it would be like you shooting your teeth 7 inches right out of your face to grab a sandwich in a fraction of a blink. Yeah, absolute nightmare fuel. And if you think the adults are scary, the biology of their birth is even darker. Scientists believe goblin sharks reproduce like sand tiger sharks, which means the strongest sibling literally eats all of its brothers and sisters inside the womb before it's even born. By the time it finally enters the ocean, it is already a proven survivor.
Section 4. Spiders of the Sea. Let's look at deep-sea spiders.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how far biology will bend to survive. These spiders can grow to be a full meter long, and their bodies are so incredibly strange, they're basically just a collection of walking legs. Their abdomen is so tiny they literally run out of room for their own anatomy. So where do the organs go? Right into the legs, their stomach, their intestines, and yes, even their reproductive organs are just stuffed right down inside their long, spindly legs.
They also don't hunt like traditional predators at all. They're essentially the mosquitoes of the ocean. They have this giant pipe for a mouth called a proboscis, which they use to pierce soft creatures like sea anemones, sponges, and jellyfish, and they just suck the juices right out of them. And because their bodies are so unbelievably thin, making them basically 95% legs, they don't even need gills or lungs. They just absorb oxygen directly from the water right through their legs via diffusion. But, despite their creepy appearance, sea spiders have a surprisingly touching family dynamic. They are for sure the super dads of the deep. When it's time to mate, the female releases the eggs and immediately takes off. But the male steps up, fertilizes them, and literally glues them to a specialized dedicated pair of legs called avigers. He's going to carry these babies for weeks, fiercely protecting and regularly cleaning them until they hatch, molt a few times, and are finally ready to walk the ocean floor on their own.
So, the crucial point is this. Today, we've looked at squids the size of Viking ships, fish that fold massive glowing meals into pitch-black stomachs, sharks that weaponize their jaws with lightning speed, and spiders that literally breathe through legs packed with their own organs. It shows us that when the environment gets unimaginably tough, life doesn't just give up. It innovates. It adapts in ways that seem like pure science fiction. Which leaves us with one thrilling question to ponder. If the ocean's harsh extremes can drive this kind of pure biological genius that we barely even understand, what other alien secrets are waiting for us, perfectly hidden in the dark? Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and I'll see you on the next explainer.